It was 2011. I had to sell my old bicycle since I had recently got a new one. It wasn't a piece of junk, so I figured I could get a couple of $100 for it. I had never used Craigslist before, so I had to have my son show me how to use it. He basically put the whole ad together for me and showed me how to actually post it. He listed my phone number so that anyone who was interested could call or text me. The ad was up for a few days with no bites, and I was becoming impatient. I think after 3 days, I finally got a text from someone late in the day showing interest in coming to buy the bike. He got right down to it actually in his first text, saying he wanted to come get the bike as soon as possible. I told him he could come right now and included my address. He said he'd be over within half an hour. I was happy to potentially be getting this bike off my mind finally. I was actually home alone. I don't fully remember what my family was doing. I think my wife and younger son had to go out shopping, while my older son just went out with his friends. But you get the point. I was alone. I was sitting in my living room watching TV. It was dark out by now when I heard a car pull up in front of the house. I looked out of the window, watched as 3 grown men got out of the car. Right off the bat, that screamed overkill. Why would anyone need to take along 2 other people to check out a bicycle? One of them rang the bell. They had to have seen me standing by the window, so they knew I was there. So I opened the door, and the man standing in front of the other 2 reached out and shook my hands. His name was Jeffrey, or at least that's what he claims. He was a big dude. You wouldn't have to look at him twice to know he lifted weights. He also had a really thick beard and deep voice. He didn't introduce his 2 friends though, who were just standing behind him looking at me with blank expressions. They weren't exactly tiny men either. As I was mid-sentence telling them let's go around back, Jeffrey cut past me and into my house, saying, "Which way to the bike?" His 2 friends followed. The idea of making sure that they didn't enter my house was clearly out of the window, so I rushed in front of them and led them down the half stairs to the back door. Jeffrey and one of his friends came out back with me while his 3rd friend asked me where the restroom was. I paused for the longest time. How was I about to let this random guy go use my bathroom while I was out here with his 2 friends? But as I looked at his 2 friends who were staring at me, I submissively gave him directions to my bathroom. As that man disappeared into my house, I went to the shed to grab the bicycle. On my walk to and from the shed fetching the bike, all I was thinking was, what did I just get myself into? So I showed Jeffrey the bike. He started analyzing every little detail of the bike, like things no one should ever think to analyze on a bike. For example, some of the spokes may have been slightly bent, or the reflector had scuff marks on it. I was so busy answering his questions and trying to defend the condition of the bike from his remarks that I didn't even think of the man who had supposedly been in my bathroom for almost 10 minutes. I told the 2 of them to keep checking out the bike. I'd be right back to fetch something. I went inside and checked the both bathrooms. One of them on the 1st floor and one upstairs. Both of them were empty though. Just then I heard people walking around and talking in my living room downstairs. Then what sounded like Jeffrey calling my name. I heard them coming up the stairs. Jeffrey said something along the lines,
"I just want to talk to you. You can relax."
When I say my heart was racing, that's not an understatement. I actually thought that that night was going to be the night of my death. I quietly shut the bathroom door and locked it. I dialed 911 on my phone and whispered as quietly as I could to the operator to send police right away, or I could be dead within 10 minutes. She wanted me to remain calm and to try my best to explain the situation quietly. After explaining, she told me it was good that I was in a locked room and to wait there until the cops showed up. Footsteps came up to the bathroom door and stopped. Then someone tried the door handle. When they realized it was locked, one of them said in a low voice, "He's in there." I told the operator they found me. She said to stay where I was. After a few seconds of silence on the other end, there was a frighteningly loud bang on the door, and then another. and another, and they were trying to kick the door down. I screamed. The cops were almost here, and the kicking stopped. I heard them whispering to each other, and then I heard them stomping down the stairs. I didn't leave the bathroom until the cops showed up. I was missing a lot of things like my wallet, which was on the kitchen counter, a couple of watches, my iPad, and of course the bike that was in the backyard. The cops told me to just be grateful that I wasn't killed, which I was, but how could I really be happy? After this, the cops said, given that they were trying to break into the bathroom, they were most likely gonna kill me, which scares the hell out of me to think about. That was the one and only time I ever used Craigslist.